Good morning, guys. Today is Wednesday morning at about 9 o'clock. It's 8:48. As you saw, I made my cup of coffee. This is one of my favorite mugs. So my dad got his parents when he went to college, and so when I went to college, he gave this set of mugs to me. So it's one of my favorites, and I love whales because we always went to the aquarium when I was growing up. So it's really meaningful. So I started my day with a good cup of coffee and a good cup, which I'm really happy about. And we are gonna do our finishing touches on moving today. We're gonna go up to my dad's other house. We're gonna clean. So yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty zen day, but you never know. I make my favorite breakfast, which is apple cinnamon oatmeal, and so I'll take you along with me on that. I'll show you how to do it, and I'll do all the steps and everything. But another thing that I'm very excited about, our AC boy is back. He's back from training, which we are so excited about. He's doing a little bit of work right now, so basically in order to control impulses, they have to stay in one place for an extended period of time. So he's been there for almost an hour now, and then in about 10 minutes he'll be able to get off, but I will show you what he's doing right now. So this is Ace, and he's laying down in his place. Ace place. So we kind of just have him like tied to the table, and as we're going about our daily business, he's supposed to be just like laying here and being really good and well behaved, which he's been doing great. He's gotten up once to go sit on our dog couch over there, which, another fun story. We got this couch during COVID, and then this couch we were trying to get rid of because obviously it's so small, but no one would take it. So now we have two couches, and Ace really enjoys laying on this couch. So it's the honorary dog couch, which he tried to get up and lay on there. He's got to stay in his place. I told him where it was, so he's got about 10 more minutes. But yeah, so we got a pretty eventful day. It's gonna be a lot of hard work, but let's get into it.
I know that you are...
Alright guys, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to start making my oatmeal. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to get a golden crisp apple. Oh, you can see that I forgot that I didn't wash it. So you want to get a golden crisp apple, and you want to chop it up into just like little bite-sized pieces. So the mistake that I made here was I kind of rough chopped it, but too much. So it didn't cook evenly, and you want the apples to be nice and brown, like when you brown them up in the butter. So you want to do more even pieces than I did. But as you can see, I'm chopping up the apples. I'm getting them all nice and small like, so that I can throw in the pan with the butter. And as I'm chopping up the apple, I am also heating up the pan right now. So as I'm chopping up the apple, I'm making sure that the pan is warming up so that when I'm ready to put the apple pieces in the pan, I can just throw in a little bit of butter and it'll be good to go. So as you can see, my pan is sitting right here and is waiting for me to put some butter in. You want to make sure that you're browning the butter up before you're throwing the apples in. And this is something that you want to do not only with apples and making a base for your oatmeal. It's really anything you want to do with anything that you need to make a base for. Like a soup, you can do this with onions and carrots and make a really good flavorful base for your soup. I do it with rice. I brown my rice a little bit. So I'm always making sure that the beginning of my meal is cooked thoroughly. It's cooked separately. So it's bringing flavor to the pan. It's bringing flavor to the food, to the meal, because this will really make a difference at the end of the day, how good your food is tasting. So as you can see, I browned up the butter a little bit. I threw in the apples, and now I'm just waiting for the apples to brown. So I kind of fast forwarded through this part, but I am a stirring machine. I'm constantly stirring my food because my worst fear is that I'm going to take time to make all of this delicious food and it's going to burn at the end of the day or end of the meal. So I'm constantly checking, I'm constantly making sure that everything's cooking evenly. I was getting a little frustrated at this point because I could tell that the apple pieces weren't cooking congruently. So some pieces were cooking faster, some were cooking slower. It's the name of the game, unfortunately, for a rough chop, but here I am just cooking my apples and waiting for the apples to be done and browned in the butter. I'm going to set them aside in that blue bowl that I have next to me, and then I'm going to throw in the oats. As you can see, I put a few more pieces of butter in as it was cooking. Of course, I'm stirring it up one more time, but it's looking pretty good to me. For the most part, the pieces are brown. I usually like them a little bit crispier, but it'll do for now. And then next, I put in the oats. So I really want to make sure that the oats are getting really nice and browned up. And I put some more butter in there. Disclaimer, this is not a super healthy meal. It is a feel-good comfort meal. So I'm waiting for the butter to melt. I am browning up my oats. I am making sure that they are looking good. Alright, at this point, the oats are starting to get a little more brown. I'm gonna let them sit for maybe like a minute or two, but the butter's pretty much melted. Now it's just time for them to get a little bit toasty. And I kind of fast forwarded through the toasty part, so they're nice and ready to go, so I'm gonna start seasoning now. Now the first thing that I'm putting in there is, I believe, the cinnamon. I don't measure anything, so I'm just eyeballing it. I'm kind of sprinkling it over the top. Next, I'm just going to put a little bit of nutmeg in there. Nice, good, warm, kind of spicy flavor. Can't go wrong with cinnamon and nutmeg. Next, I put a little tiny bit of vanilla extract. I don't like doing the fake vanilla extract, so I try and do as pure as possible, but you know, we're working on a college kid budget. But again, I stir. You want to make sure everything's mixed good together so that it's gonna cook evenly. Alright, so from here I put in 2 spoonfuls of brown sugar. I just want them to get melted and mixed together before I do add my milk. Honestly, I regretted adding 2 spoonfuls. I feel like it made it really too sweet and too rich, almost to the point where I didn't enjoy eating it towards the end of my meal. So if I had to do it over again, I probably only would have done 1 spoonful. But again, adding a little piece of butter so that they can caramelize, they can melt together, and it can mix really nicely with my seasonings that I have on my oats and my sugar and my butter. And I'm just letting those all kind of meld together for a few minutes, and then I'm going to add in my milk. Alright, so everything's been kind of cooking together. It all looks pretty harmonious right now. So now I'm going to add in my canned coconut milk. I usually use canned coconut milk. I find that it's cheaper. It's easier just to keep in my pantry at all times. So I always have at least 4 or 5 cans of coconut milk. And again, I'm sorry, I just eyeballed it. So I had enough to cover the oats. And then you're going to want to make sure that it simmers for maybe 5 or 6 minutes until the oats are all the way cooked. And as you can see, I'm still stirring up a storm. So I'm just making sure that nothing's sticking to the bottom, and then we're going to simmer these oats for about, I would say 10 minutes or so. So as we can see, the oats are not as liquidy, and then when I go to stir it, it just kind of clumps together. It's more solid, so I know that they're pretty brown, they're looking good. So I'm just going to pour them over my apples, and I'm going to stir everything up and enjoy. And I really like setting the apples to the side so that the apples are a little bit more crispier, so you have the soft oats and the crispy, buttery, browned apples. And it really is a delicious, warm, soft meal, and I would highly, highly recommend for anyone who just wants some like comfort food, some comfort fall food.
Hi guys, it's been many hours. It's about 3:45 now, and we just spent a long time cleaning. The house was really dirty and stuff, so really we did like a lot of work inside the house and cleaning everything up, getting all the last minute things, so I am so tired. So I'm gonna go take a nap now. Okay, talk to you guys in a bit. Good morning, guys. That was a total fail. After my last clip, which you just saw, I completely fell asleep, was gone for the rest of the night. I caught up, I think, at like 7 and went to Target, and that was about it. And then I came home and then fell asleep again. I was so tired. I think I'm just like so mentally exhausted from 1, moving my childhood home, Midterms are so crazy right now. I literally forgot that we had a midterm last week on Monday, and by the grace of God, I passed and I was okay. But oh my gosh, I completely forgot that we had a midterm. It's just all of my other tests and exams and everything I'm thinking about next week, and I'm so tired. So yep, okay. This is gonna be my outro. It is tomorrow, which is Thursday now, about 10 o'clock in the morning. So sorry. All right, see you guys later. Bye.